All right, everybody, welcome back to our show. Joining me in the studio, Gus Pernetz. I've got Josiah Middaugh. Guys, thanks for coming in today. Did you run here?
Thanks, Mark.
I did.
Did you run here?
I swam first.
You probably did.
Yeah, it's my commute. It's a little run,
where do you
little
live?
swim. Eagle Vail.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, Gus, so real quick, let's talk about Stryd to start. We talked past couple of weeks about having you come in for an interview.
Sure.
So just to explain this, it's hard for me to explain it. We watched some videos yesterday to find out really how it all works, and I'm still a little confused because it seems simple enough. It talks to you, it tells you you're in your sweet spot. That's how I look at it. You're always looking for the sweet spot when you're being the most efficient and utilizing your power the most. Is that kind of the basis behind it?
Yeah, the technology is really, it's a really advanced technology. It basically measures the body in all the different dimensions. So we're able to measure all the different forces, all the different things that are going on in regards to like the environmental conditions, conditions whether it's going uphill, the type of ground you're running on. But at the end of the day, with all these different metrics that we can measure, power is the absolute metric, because power has been used in the cycling world as their most determined in regards to how efficient you are and how precise you are with your training. And so for us, by working with these specialists, whether it's the biomechanists, sports physiologists, people like Josiah, coaches, the coaching environment that we work with, they're the ones who've been able to really capture the use of Stryd as a power meter.
So when you say power, the videos we're talking about watts.
Exactly.
Is that kind of how the power is measured? And I mean, what is a watt?
A watt is the energy that the body consumes as you work. So mechanical engine.
Okay.
So when you're riding a bike, you put the pressure onto the force of the crank, and it makes you move forward.
Okay.
And in running, you're running in 3 dimensions. Your whole body is a mechanical engine. And so being able to measure like the metabolic costs and everything. And one of the interesting things is Josiah is actually doing an event this evening, and that's why we were talking about this, because we're talking about all the different metrics and how that helps an athlete in training. So
let me ask you now, so you've been working with Stryd for, I think you said a couple of years, right?
Exactly.
Now, have you seen a change? I mean, because you're a tremendous athlete already, how can you get much better? Or you obviously can, right? I mean,
yeah, there's always room for improvement, and that's to train scientifically and take advantage of some of these devices that are out there to train smarter. That's really the goal. And what really turned me on to Stryd was training in this environment where you're going uphill, downhill all the time, trail running, road running. The flat runs in the valley are slight downhill, slight uphill, headwind, tailwind. And so trying to dial in your pace is really difficult. And so, with the GPS units, when you're just measuring, minutes per mile,
right,
doesn't make a lot of sense around here unless you're on a flat track.
Right.
So having a device where you're trying to stay in a power zone makes a little bit more sense for a mountain athlete.
So for me, not being a big runner, obviously trying to understand this, like I said in the beginning, looking to capitalize on that sweet spot all the time is really what it is, right? I mean, the voice that's talking to you, there's a voice in your head, right, that's talking to you?
Well, we have it on the watch,
okay.
But there will be a voice and so on, but that's just more of the mechanics. But like as Josiah was saying, he's able to really understand the efficiency of an athlete when they're running. And that's really what we're here for. It's really to understand how efficient somebody's running, and then using the power zones to understand at what zone they need to be, especially with all the different type of terrain conditions that we're involved with.
So let's talk about this event that's coming up this evening, correct?
Correct.
What is it based around? And there's also, you have a race coming up also, don't you? You have a bunch of races.
There's always a race coming up.
What's your next race? What's your next race?
Next race will be at Xterra in Alabama.
Okay.
But I got a little bit of time. Just came off a 3-day mountain bike stage race. But tonight, 5:15 at the Weston Riverfront, we've got a talk on training metrics. And so I'll have a slideshow. We're actually going to be giving away a Suunto watch.
Okay.
We'll talk about some of the devices that are out there, but also more importantly, talking about how to use some of that information in your training, how to dial in the right intensity zones.
Well, because I mean, it's great if you have the information, but if you're not using it the right way, then what's the point of it, right?
Exactly.
Exactly, and that's trying to simplify some of those things and really dial in. For me, something like Stryd, I'm trying to figure out what intensity I should be at for a certain type of workout.
Right.
And Stryd makes that a little bit easier. So, okay, I'm running up Mountain Star. I don't care if I'm running a 10-minute mile or a 12-minute mile. I'm going up a steep hill, but I'm looking at my power, and I know I want to be, 315, 320 watts. And so, dials
That's your
it in a
sweet
little
spot,
bit more.
315, 320?
For climbing a hill like that. Yeah,
What's
and
yours?
That's just me personally. Yeah.
267, which is
267?
Yeah, but that's the thing. Everybody knows their numbers.
Yeah.
Which is really interesting. And the other thing that Josiah is actually doing, now that we're transitioning from winter to spring to summer, is the camp that he's doing Xterra. And so Xterra is a big thing, out here in Beaver Creek. We'll have the event again, and Josiah will have a camp there as well in June. I don't know the dates exactly.
June 27th.
Okay.
Yep, a 3-day camp. Actually, 4-day camp.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's going to be coming up in June. Tonight, 5:30 at the West End.
5:15.
5:15. Yep. This is a free event.
Free event. Yep.
Okay.
Open to the public.
And you're going to be introducing more with Stryd also there, Gus? Is that the plan?
The idea is, we don't push any coaches to basically tell what the story is. It's more
Right.
about how they use the information. And
Okay.
so we are just one of those technologies that are out there that are really trying to capture the individual's performance and hopefully improve, whether it's PR at Boston or
Right.
at London or any of these marathons or events or Ironmans and so on. So we're a new technology. People are embracing power.
People are going to dig this. I can feel it.
I hope so.
Yeah.
That's why we made it.
Nice work.
And it's a pretty simple device. When you talk about training with power on the bike, the cost is starting to come down a little bit, but training with power on the bike is costing you $1,500,
Sure.
to get that on your bike, which excludes a lot of people. But something like the Stryd unit, what's a typical retail price for
200,
that?
and then we also have one for $100 as well. So
So
it's really very comparable.
Pretty
and-
affordable way to get a metric that you could use every
Okay.
day and really dial in your training.
I love it. Josiah, good to see you, buddy.
Thanks
Congrats
for
on
having us.
everything. Gus, congrats. Nice to see you, too.
Thank you again.
All right. We'll be right back with more Good Morning Vail. I'll let you know what's happening on the show tomorrow. We have a little bit more with Ashley, and we're going to wrap it up. We'll be right back.